These here are the Haylou S40, and they're aiming to compete against brands like Apple, Sony, Bose, and Sennheiser. Anyway, all the top of the line headphones, but for a much lower price. These headphones cost about 50 euros, but many users won't notice any difference in sound. Regarding differences with pricier headphones, the brand sent them to us. I've been testing them for a few days, and honestly, they're really worth it. If you're interested in buying headphones, stay tuned. This is something you'll want to know. And yes, in this video, we're going to review the Haylou S40. These headphones, as I mentioned, aim to compete with headphones that cost 300, 400, or even 500 euros like the AirPods Max. In this case, these are over-ear headphones, full headphones that completely cover our ears. However, they are also foldable, so we can take them with us when we travel. In this video, we'll see it's not just their design, the audio quality is also top-notch. But let's start by talking a little about the unboxing and what comes in the box. First, we get a very simple unboxing. You'll see me open the box, and right away we find the headphones folded like this, which is their position for taking them with us when we travel. They're pretty lightweight headphones, cream colored, although we can also find them in a matte black color. Also in the box, we get a USB-C cable to connect it to our preferred device by cable, and this way we can also charge their internal battery. It also comes with a detachable microphone, which is this one here, to improve our video calls and the cancellation of external noise during Teams meetings. Or Skype, for example. Actually, I don't think Skype exists anymore, but you could use Discord instead. And let's start by talking a bit about its design. As you can see, they're foldable, so we can take them with us when we travel in a much smaller space, much smaller than what they take up when they're fully unfolded when we're actually using them. In fact, the volume they take up when folded like this is 40% less. So that, for example, we can put them in a backpack. As for the design, they simply have this click that works like this, and then they're fully unfolded. And then you have the headphone heads, which are rotatable. As you can see, they rotate so that, for example, we can rest them on a table or put them more flatly inside a backpack. Without having to, press them maybe from the sides, they will also have an extension to fully adjust to our head. Well, as for the length of the headband has padding on the top, padding that is quite comfortable. I've worn these headphones for hours, and honestly, your head doesn't get tired, you don't feel any discomfort at all, they're extremely comfortable. As for the ear pads, we have pads that, as you'll see, completely cover our ears. Right now, my entire ear is inside the ear pad, and here I have to mention something about the design that caught my attention, and it's that usually when I take off the headphones, I have them in this position and I want to take them off, normally. What I do is rotate them down to place them directly on the table. What caught my attention is the right ear cup. I'm wearing them correctly. When we want to rotate them, there's a stop. We can't rotate them that way. Towards you. We can only rotate them towards me. So what happens this way? Now, if I leave them on the table, I feel like this whole back part is going to get scratched. I would like them to rotate in the opposite direction too. Forward. Well, anyway, it's just a minor design detail. Then we'll see that on the right ear cup, we'll find the power button, volume buttons, and a button for external noise cancellation. What they call active noise cancellation or active noise cancellation, which in English stands for active noise cancellation. With this button, we'll have 3 modes that we can set, which would be active cancellation mode, a mode with regular headphones with all cancellation off, and a transparency mode. What it's going to do is that when we have the headphones on, it lets us hear what's around us. Using the 5 microphones it has around it, it brings in a bit of audio so we can better hear what's happening outside. Then we have a USB-C port to charge the headphones and connect them to listen to music directly by cable, as well as the little port where we would connect the external microphone for video calls. The external microphone has a wire and remains fixed on the left ear cup. Well, we don't have anything at all, and just to mention about the design, we're going to have a touch panel on the right side. So for example, when we want to play a song, pause it, answer a call, hang up, and so on, we can do it with 2 taps using 3 fingers. If we do those 2 taps, we will cancel a call, answer it, play music, pause it, and so on. I'll be showing you some close-up shots so you can see how these headphones fit. The truth is, we could use these headphones in the office or for sports if adjusted properly. Because honestly, I could go running right now and the headphones wouldn't move at all. And I think that the design, the fit, and the comfort are precisely some of their strong points. Now, these headphones include a lot of technology. I've already talked to you briefly about the noise cancellation, which can reach up to minus 50 decibels of external noise cancellation. This, as I mentioned, is achieved through 5 microphones placed around it, which gather all that information and cancel the noise inside your ears. This is done in real time, and the sound cancellation works between 20 and 4000 Hz. That is where all the frequencies of the human voice are found, and basically all the sounds we hear in our daily lives. For example, this is very useful when we're on public transportation and we don't want to hear the conversations of the people around us. Or, for example, in that same public transportation, we don't want to hear the noise of the subway, the noise of the bus engine, basically all these kinds of things. But the technology doesn't stop there. We also have 360-degree spatial audio, which is this. What it's going to do is that when we activate it, we'll have the feeling that the music is always focused on the same point, that is, right in front of us. So if we turn our head, we'll hear as if the sound is coming from this side. If we turn it right, we'd hear it through the left ear. All this happens smoothly, 360 degrees, without us noticing. It's a sensation. Well, it depends. For example, if we're in a conversation or something like that, it can be really, really good. For example, I'm not passionate about listening to music, but it has its uses. As for the speakers we have inside, we have 2 speakers, both on the left side and on the right side. Speakers that are going to separate the bass sounds from the treble sounds, giving us better clarity and higher sound quality. These headphones are 40 and 20 millimeters respectively. And well, we can equalize them through the Haylou app. And now let's talk a bit about the wireless technologies that these Haylou S40 have, because they already come with Bluetooth 6.0 integrated, this Bluetooth. This version of Bluetooth, which is the newest, includes improvements both in data transmission performance and, for example, in the Bluetooth range, as well as efficiency. What does this mean? It means we're going to have better sound quality, and we'll be able to go up to 20 meters away, whereas with previous protocols it was only up to 10 meters. And also, we're going to have better battery optimization for these headphones. During use, the battery of these headphones can last up to 90 hours if we don't have noise cancellation activated, while we'll get up to 60 hours of use with noise cancellation on. This Bluetooth 6.0 allows us to have a gaming mode that will reduce latency to up to 80 milliseconds, which is really, really good. But it also allows us to use the low latency audio codec. This codec was developed by Sony. And what it allows us to do is to send a much larger amount of data via Bluetooth than with previous protocols. From what I've researched, low latency audio codec was a protocol developed by Sony a few years ago, and it allows us to send a larger amount of data through this same channel, Bluetooth, for example. My Apple devices are not compatible with low latency audio codec. They would use other protocols and would also sound very good, but for example, Android devices can use low latency audio codec. They take advantage of it and get even better audio quality. In this way, with this protocol, we get audio at 990 kilobits per second, while typically it's about 3 times less, around 300 kilobits per second. Additionally, it allows for audio at 96 kilohertz and 24-bit depth for all of you who didn't know. To take advantage of the quality of these headphones, these Haylou S40, you can go to Spotify and set the playback quality to lossless. That way you get the best quality which you send to the headphones, and honestly, it sounds amazing. The quality is incredible, just outstanding. I've tested it with my MacBook Pro and iPhone. They don't support that low latency audio codec, but it still sounds fabulous. Alternatively, we could use a USB-C cable, but note that the low latency audio codec won't work. At the same time that we have active noise cancellation, or for example, spatial audio, this feature lets it calculate the audio position in real time when we turn our head. I've already told you about the usage time, 90 and 60 hours depending on whether we have active noise cancellation. And then we would have a 10-minute charge that would give us about 5 hours of use. A quick charge that manages to fully charge the headphones in 2.5 hours. And before I tell you the price, let's take a quick look at their app so you can see how to activate all the features. The Haylou app works as follows. We open it and it immediately detects the headphones, the Haylou S40. We tap on Start Using, and here we have all the settings for all the options I've been mentioning throughout the video. The first thing that appears is the noise cancellation. We can do it adaptively, meaning it does it automatically, or we can activate it constantly, and here we have a control to adjust how much noise cancellation we want. If we want those minus 50 decibels or something less, we can also reduce wind noise. And as I mentioned before, we could enable ambient sound, which lets in a bit of the outside noise so we can hear better and not be so isolated. The headphones have all those options, and then we have a gaming mode. What this does is reduce the connection latency between the devices to 80 milliseconds. This way, I understand that we'll use a bit more battery, but we reduce that latency if we're using the headphones for gaming. In my case, multi-point pairing isn't necessary. What it allows us to do is have several devices set up with the Haylou S40, so for example, we can have them connected to both the computer and the phone. We want to listen to music on the phone, but then we get a call or video call on the computer. Well, there's no need for us to switch them, they automatically pick up the audio source. Lastly, as I mentioned, we have the low latency audio codec for extra quality. Now the headphones are restarting, it takes a second, and then we'll have the best quality activated with this low latency audio codec, which is only available on Android. Then we have other equalization sections with presets, or we can make our own equalization, and here we would have the option to find the headphones and update their software if it wasn't on the latest version. Lastly, something that I think is quite useful for you to check out. If you use Spotify, you go to your computer in settings, and here in content and multimedia quality, you can force the audio quality you listen to be the highest. That is lossless, even consuming up to a gigabyte every hour. Obviously, this is a lot of data, but if you want to make the most of your headphones, you should know that you have this option available as well. Well, very high, which would already be quite good in terms of quality. Or leave it on automatic if you just want to listen to music naturally and not use up all your data plan in case you don't have unlimited data. But just so you know, you can enable the lossless option to get the full performance in this little clip. What do I want to show you? What I want to show you is how these Haylou S40 sound. Are you currently listening to me directly through the headphones using their 5 microphones? Well, it must have one dedicated for this kind of calls, video calls, conferences, and right now, it's as if I were making a video call on Teams, FaceTime, or these kinds of platforms. However, I mentioned to you that we have this detachable microphone here. What is it for? Well, it's to further isolate conversations and allow us to have more private conversations without any outsiders listening in. Are you already hearing how the headphones sound? And now what I'm going to do is attach, well, this microphone. And this is how the external microphone would sound. This one that we can attach to the speakers to have a better or much closer voice. But anyway, you'll see that the quality is different. You can simply stick with the one you like the most, in this case. I think that, for example, for an office, being able to speak more quietly and have a more private conversation without our coworkers overhearing us, I think it's pretty good. It's a microphone that, as you can see, we can also use for video games. We can bring it closer, move it away. Basically, what it allows us to do is have our voice much closer to the microphone. And now comes the best part of this video, what surprised me the most, which is, well, to give you my verdict. For the price they cost, these headphones cost 50 euros. If we find a lower price, we'll list it below in the description, since Black Friday might bring better deals. Still, these headphones are impressive for the price, competing with models costing 200, 300, or even over 500 euros. Since the AirPods Max cost so much, these headphones are very similar in terms of design, comfort, and the sound is impressive. They really sound super good. It's true that, well, we can notice slight differences. Yes, if you want the best, you can pay 10 times more. But I think these headphones are at about 90-95% of the quality that much more expensive headphones can offer. For me, honestly, if you want affordable over-ear headphones with professional audio, the Haylou S40 are a great choice. I think they're worth it. And now, I want your opinion. What do you think about the Haylou S40? Down in the comments. If you liked the video, leave a like. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.